So I've been planning on doing this video for a little bit now. I wanted to rewatch season 6 a couple times before I did it, but I'm going to be talking about the characters' endings, at least our main players and stuff like that. I don't know who made this tier list, but I found it and I had to actually add some characters on here because literally everybody on the bottom row I had to add. Like they didn't have Kenny, Devin and Anthony on there. But I also added Quan, Zara and Axel because I feel like they were big enough characters to where, you know, I could talk about their endings and things like that. So yeah, we're gonna get into this, man. Like my opinion did change on certain characters. Like we'll find out when I get there. But yeah, man, let's get into this. All right, first up, we got Daniel. I thought Daniel had a good ending. I felt like he finally learned what Mr. Miyagi was trying to teach him, even though they did that arc like I don't know how many times in this damn show. They just kept regressing him to do the same thing over and over again. He finally got it. You feel me? And I do think he had a relatively good ending. Like it's kind of easy for Daniel because he had the movies. So like what else were you going to really do with him in terms of like progressing his character more? Um so yeah, like I think he had a good ending. Kreese, I think he had an acceptable ending. Him and Silver, let me do Silver. Let me I'm gonna put him right next. Um him and Silver, like I think everyone will agree there was no like way to end this show without the two of them like essentially going. Like they had to die. Those two characters, they had to. My issue is that I wish they would have did Kreese's redemption early. I hate that they waited to the last five, episodes or whatever. But I do think they did a good job with the time they had. You feel me? And I think it was an acceptable ending. The only thing I don't like was how him and Kreese die. I mean, him and Silver die. I can't talk today. Him and Silver, I don't like the way they went out. It was too cheesy. It felt too like over the top 80s. I just like nah. Like I do agree that they had to go, but not in that way. And speaking of Silver, I know he had to go, but I feel like the whole sick plot line, like being introduced in the last five episodes, I feel like this should have been introduced way earlier. Like I feel like they could have did something really special with him, and you know, I feel like it was a missed opportunity with Silver, man. And Silver's my favorite character, like in the Karate Kid franchise as a whole, between the movies and Cobra Kai. He's number one. Then we got Carmen. Why do you put the actual picture of the actress? I mean, she had a good ending. She had her daughter. She got her family. She's married to Johnny. They got a house now. It's not much to say about her. My boy Chosen. Chosen got a good ending, man. My man was just looking for love, and he found it. Him and Kim. You feel me? Like he did his thing. I love Chosen. I do wish they would have gave him like a more in-depth storyline when they brought him into the show in season 5, but they brought him in the last two seasons of the show, so it's kind of like I could take, I'm gonna take what I can get. Speaking of Kim, I mean, she wasn't the most developed character. I'm trying to think of her ending. I mean, she got rid of her crazy grandpa, which was needed. He should have been gone in the first place. He was too damn old to still be alive. I mean, I'm gonna put her an acceptable ending. Maybe because just because I didn't really like super care for her character. Like I didn't start actually enjoying her character until season 6. Like part 2 and part 3 is when I actually enjoyed her as a character. So I'm kind of mad they waited to like actually show her around like chosen and just like away from karate. Like I'm mad they waited till this, towards the end. But like she had an acceptable ending. It was fine, you know. Johnny, dream ending. His character came full circle. He beat Wolf and got his redemption for what 1984, I believe, is when he fought Daniel. He got his family. He got his dream profession. He got the dojo back and stuff like that. And so, him and Daniel officially are finally like together. Not together like that, but y'all get what I mean. Like they're here now. They get each other. You feel me? We're finally there. We got Amanda. Amanda. Amanda got a good ending. I mean, they never really like super developed her, but for what we got, like she finally became like that karate mom in like season one. I mean, Amanda's the best. I love Amanda, but like, yeah, man, like you know, she had a good ending, I guess. Like, you know, her daughter is going to Okinawa. Their family is good. I don't think they got to worry about any like villain showing up to attack their house again. So I think she had a good ending. Miguel, like, if you're a Miguel fan, I know you were happy as hell. I like Miguel, by the way. People don't think I like Miguel, but I do. Um, but yeah, like he beat Axel. They brought his character full circle, pretty much. I do wish they would have built it up better. Like him and Axel's like rivalry was underdeveloped as hell, and I didn't care too much for the rivalry, but I like his ending. He got into Stanford before his fight, so he didn't even need to win the fight to get into Stanford. He going to chill out with Sam for a little bit, help her settle in Okinawa for a bit, and then he gonna go to college, man. You know, he had a good ending. You feel me? Like him and Johnny, I think, and Tori. When I get to her, I think they had the best endings out of any character in the show. Robbie, I gotta put him towards the back. I got too much to say, so I'm gonna save him for last. Sam, I think had a good ending. At first, I didn't like the fact that she didn't get the fight. But then, like the stuff they did with her was like her trying to decide like if she wanted to stay home for college or actually like leave the valley and actually, go, go explore the world, man. Go see what other opportunities are out there. And I get it. I did want her to fight. Her learning the lesson that you don't always need to fight and it's okay to not fight and stuff like that. I get it. You feel me? Um, it made sense for her character. Now, when it comes to other characters, I have I disagree. But I felt like she had a good ending. Tori, Tori to me, I I liked her ending personally. For me, I liked her ending the most, mainly because it felt like everything was building towards this. Like there was no stoppage in the storylines. Like with Daniel, not with Daniel, but with Johnny and Miguel, it did feel like a period where like the whole Cobra Kai thing coming back, like him getting back Cobra Kai, that could have been like hinted at way earlier. They waited till the last season to do that. Well, specifically the last 5 episodes. Um, like Miguel winning, like if they would have built up to those like moments better, I think I would have liked it. But Tori's, it felt like from season 5 to the end of season 6, it was just like you like by the time she wins and she gets the contract, like all her hard work paid off. And like I really love what they did with her this season. Cause at first I had my doubts. I was like, I didn't like how she went back to Crease. But when you watch the season as a whole, you're like, okay, I see what they did. And you know, I like her ending. My boy Hawk, I think he had an acceptable ending. I've seen people say he should have like he deserves better. In terms of an overall character, yes, I 100% agree. If this was like an overall character tier list, I would have a lot more to say about Hawk cuz Hawk for me prior to season 5, him and Robbie were like 1 and 2. They were like 1A, 1B. They were like my favorite characters. After season 4, it was like they did nothing with Hawk. But strictly here, like his ending, him going to college, like the college thing was brought up before in like one of the earlier seasons. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been season 4 or 5, but him and Dimitri talked about the college thing before. So, you know, he got Moon, he going to college with his best friend. He got an acceptable ending. I just wish they would have did more with his character. It felt like he just fell by the wayside and it kind of sucks. Dimitri, same thing. Got an acceptable ending. I'll say he got a good ending for his character. Like, while Hawk, I think they could have did more with him. Dimitri, he was fine. They didn't need to do more with him. He got Yasmin back, which Dimitri lucked up. That's all I'm gonna say. But he going to school with his best friend. He good. He had a good ending. Now, I know people gonna say Kenny deserved a better ending. My only rebuttal to that is him, Devin, and like Anthony were never like the main focus. Like in terms of hierarchy of characters, they were never on especially the teens. Like they were never up there with like the Miguel, the Robbie, the Sam, the Tories. Like they were like a tier or two below. You know, Kenny was brought in to be a main character, but their characters are young and they came in late. Anthony been there, but he didn't become like a major part till like later on. But like for their ending, like they're still young, and the last season wasn't about their characters, and I feel like they had acceptable endings. I do wish they would have did more with them though, but you know, especially Kenny. That's my boy. That's like my fourth favorite character. That's my boy. You know, I wish they would have did more with him. Devin, I actually think she was really good in part two and in part one. I know people get on her about the whole Kenny thing. Like, she was insecure. She's a teenager. Like, it's fine. Um, I like her relationship stuff with Johnny. I do wish she got something to do. Like, we know that they're going to be training between Miyagi Do and Cobra Kai, and I think that's dope. Anthony, same thing. Like, he got an acceptable ending. They'll still train in, you know, in show universe and keep it going. Like I said, they're young and the story wasn't really about them. So, you know, my boy Quan. uh, at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, I'm kind of okay with him going. And then when I kept rewatching part two, after part two came out, I just kept rewatching it because I just loved his character so much. And I feel like they could have did more with him. Someone commented, and I can't remember who, but someone made a comment under my episode 10 reaction for season 6 and was like, I wish they kept Quan alive because if we do get the Tori and Robbie spinoff, which I hope we do, Quan could have been Robbie's chosen. And when I read that, I was like, yo, that could have been really dope. Missed opportunity, man. Brandon did a hell of a job. I For me personally, I think he deserved a better ending. Because I feel like there was more to his character that they could have did with him in the future. Zara, she got an acceptable ending. I mean, it wasn't too much to her character compared to Axel, which I feel like Axel deserved a better ending because we don't know what happened to him. Like he leaves Wolf and then he's just gone. We don't see him again. So I wanted like there's potential with him. There's potential with Zara too, but I think there's more with Axel. And I was just like, we deserve to find out what happened. Like, did he go back home? Like, did he join a new dojo? Like, we don't know what happened. So, you know, my boy Robbie, bro. I don't like his ending. Originally, when I first watched the last three episodes, because I did all those reactions back to back to back, I did originally like his ending. I was like, okay, he gonna be making money, cool, cool, cool. He's still gonna get to compete, cool. But as I watch season 6 as a whole, and I just like think about his journey as a character, his ending was underwhelming and unsatisfying to me personally. Now, before people start commenting, because I know I'm gonna get some comments talking about, oh, you don't understand the character, you just wanted him to win a trophy. Listen to what I have to say first before people start like bitching in the comments, because I feel like people do that. They'll hear you say you don't like something and just harper on that one point without listening to everything you say. So let me get it off my chest first before anybody start remotely talking about what I'm talking about. So I get that Robbie's character is meant to parallel Johnny and to show like, hey, you know, winning isn't everything. My issue with that is they've shown that already. Like they repeated similar to what they did with Daniel and like Kreese, where they would have Johnny too, where they would have them learn a lesson and then have to redo it. And they kept like regressing the characters just to progress them again. But the issue is that they already did it in season one. Like season one, he lost and was perfectly fine. He had a support system in Daniel. You feel me? Like he had someone there in his corner to tell him, like, yo, it's okay that you lost. You know, you fought with honor, you fought with dignity and stuff. Like you were the true winner. And he learned that lesson. Was he upset about being in second place? Yeah, but he didn't let it like consume him. And even in season four, when he didn't have a support system behind him in season four, when he lost a Hawk, he was still fine. He went to the back. Tori followed them. And he was just like, "Hey, I just need some air real quick. Let me get myself together." He got himself together. came back out there and supported Tori during her fight. And he was perfectly fine. He didn't let it consume him or take him down the path. And like I said, he had no support system at this point. I mean, I guess you could count Tori. She was his girlfriend, but they just got together. So like, and Kenny was like the only actual friend he had at that point. Um, so like, it's kind of like they repeated the same things with him, and then in season 6 we got the same thing with him learning that winning isn't everything. It's okay to come in second place or whatever, or to accept second place. The issue is that we already did that, and so it's repetitive to me. I don't like repetitive storylines. I'm like that with anything. I don't like it. It's annoying as hell. I hate it. The contract, he did not earn it. I'm sorry, he didn't. Like, they had him win captaincy, but the whole entire Saikai Takai, they had him fighting like a goddamn noob. He did not perform well. Then he gets his moment against Quan where he's locked in and fight, and he beats Quan and eliminates Cobra Kai. The issue is that they undo that moment and Cobra Kai gets right back into the tournament. So his moment is undone and it's pointless in the grand scheme of things. So it doesn't even matter. Still a cool fight, but in hindsight, it doesn't matter. Then he fights Axel and gets his leg broke. He did not earn it. He did not perform well. Like, he didn't earn the contract. He just didn't. Like, and I'm one of those people where I don't care about the end result if the character didn't earn it. I like good writing. Like, I'm a big fan of books and manga and stuff like that. I got it all over there. I like storylines where when you get to the end of the story and the character gets their happy ending or whatever, it feels earned. It feels deserved because of everything that they went through. Robbie didn't get that. Like, he didn't earn the contract. Not only that, but it felt like they tacked his ending onto Tori's. Like, that was truly her ending, and then they just gave Robbie a bone. Like, I don't like that. I'm sorry. He did nothing to earn that. And y'all know Robbie, my boy, but I gotta call a spade a spade. He did not perform well and did not deserve that contract. It felt like he got it as a pity win, like a pity ending or like a consolation prize. Like, I'm just not here for it. And then we can talk about the moral victory of everything that he gained through karate. Let me tell you something. All of that felt hollow as hell. The scene was good and I got emotional because Tanner and Billy did their thing. But in terms of the context of the show, that scene meant nothing to me. And I'm gonna tell you why. Let's talk about the friends first. Robbie, outside of Sam and Kenny, has the rest of Miyagi Do and the rest of the teens on the show are not Robbie's friends. They're not. Hawk and Dimitri are Miguel's friends. Robbie just got thrown into Miguel's friend group without them actually building, like, I say actually twice, without them actually building like a dynamic and relationship with them. They just like threw him in and all of a sudden they were all cool. Like, they're not really his friends. I think we all agree on that. Devin, Anthony, Chris, and Mitch and the rest of them are not his friends. Like, so that part just felt hollow. It was just like, and even his friendships that he had with Sam and Kenny, they didn't repair them. Like, they had him and Kenny reconciled. They get no scenes the rest of the season. Him and Sam, I don't even know if they technically reconciled, but when he came back to Miyagi though, they didn't really have anything. Like, we didn't see their friendship. But the other characters got to have their friendships. We still saw Miguel and Dimitri and Hawk like actually hanging out or have scenes together, apart from like Robbie and Tori and Sam and stuff. Like, Robbie just didn't get that same treatment. Nor did Tori. Like, Tori didn't have that same like relationship with Devin in this season either. So, that kind of sucks. But the girlfriend thing, I'll give them that. Karate gave him his girlfriend. He probably wouldn't have got Tori if he hadn't come to Cobra Kai. I'll give him that. But Johnny, I'm sorry, absolutely not. Him being in karate or him like getting into karate shouldn't have won him his dad. His dad should have already been there. It don't matter if Robbie was doing karate. It don't matter if Robbie was still doing sports or if he was out in the skate park. His dad should have been a part of his life. It should not have took him getting into karate for his dad to be a part of his life. Do I like where they're at now in the show? Sure. The issue is that they did not properly develop their relationship. Season 1 and 2, Johnny was actually trying. Season 3, he did not try. I'm sorry, he didn't. Robbie would give him a chance and he would let Robbie down. And then by the time we get to season 4, he didn't try at all and still got rewarded. And then when they actually reconciled, because Robbie was the one that had to make it right when that shouldn't have been his job, they had no scenes together, no development scenes, none, no scenes of them getting to know each other. It's 16 years you wasn't with your son. Like, you kind of don't know him. You don't know his interests. Like, come on. Like, they didn't have scenes unless it was about Miguel or Miguel was in the scene with him. They didn't get any one-on-one scenes until the last 5 episodes of the show. So when you get that moment where he's talking about all the things that he's gained, it comes off hollow to me, because I'm like, did you really gain all those things? Like, they didn't do the work. And like I said, I'm a fan of development. Actually do the work so that when a character gets to a point, like at the end of the show or book or whatever, it feels earned. It feels like, okay, this character made it. I didn't feel that with Robbie. And I just don't like his ending at all. I'm sorry. I just can't. But this is my list, you feel me? Let me know if you disagree in the comments. Please be respectful. Like, even if you disagree with everything I said about Robbie or any of the other characters, just be respectful in the comments. I don't feel like arguing with nobody. That's the one thing that I actually will not miss about this fandom, is interacting with the toxic people, because I cannot stand that. Like, that's so annoying. It's okay for me to have an opinion, like, and you can also have your own opinion, but just don't be disrespectful. Like, just be respectful. Also, I want to do some more like tier lists. I'm gonna be ranking like fights for each season. I'm gonna see if someone on here did it already, where they like I want to do, I'm probably going to do season 1 and 2 together, because season 1 didn't have a lot of fights, but I want to go through like each season and rank the fights. I also want to do some of them gauntlets. You know how people be on TikTok, like, oh, like how far would this character get or whatever. If any of y'all know how to make them, send me some on Twitter. Like, send me some, or know where I can find some so I can do some, because I think that'll be like some fun videos to do, you know, throughout the week or whatever. But yeah, like I said, if you disagree or agree, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.